Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this special program of Encounter. Today we have the great pleasure to meet Sister Jayanti from the Brahma Kumari Center at Kathoborn. Well, let me tell you about Sister Jayanti. She is the additional administrative head of Brahma Kumari's International, an international motivational speaker, peace lover. Sister Jayanti, Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Sister Jayanti, thank you very much to be part in our program. My first question is, whenever we go somewhere in a spiritual place, we have so many types of greetings, so many ways of greetings. Especially when we come to Brahma Kumari Center, we greet people Om Shanti. So we'd like to know what is the meaning behind Om Shanti.
The word Om is a very sacred word and has been around for millennia. And many people have different interpretations of Om. But in the Brahma Kumaris, we understand Om to be the sound that comes from deep within. And it's a reminder of the inner being that I am, the soul that I am. And Shanti means peace. And so Om Shanti put together means I, the inner being, am a being of peace. And so it's a very lovely reminder to the self, but also to others, to come back to that awareness of peace.
It is like a reminder for others.
It's a greeting, it's a reminder, it's an introduction of the self. Who am I?
So once again, Om Shanti.
That's right.
So let us talk about the Brahma Kumari. What is the aim and objectives of Brahma Kumari?
Our belief is that every human being carries within themselves peace and love and truth and joy and purity. This is the original state of the inner being for every human being, but of course we've forgotten it. And so the purpose of the Brahma Kumaris is to remind people to come back to the awareness of the inner being, the identity of the spiritual being, so that we can again reconnect with ourselves and allow this highest quality within ourselves to emerge, so that through that we're able to interact in a different way and also support the world and make it a better place.
Sister Jayanti, when we are talking about the love towards ourselves, so is it not that we are showing people, telling people that to love only thyself and to show love only for oneself and not for others?
If you think about the scriptures, you'll remember that all the ancient texts have said, love others as you would love yourself. And it's because we don't love ourselves that we're not able to love others today. Because everything begins from inside. If I'm peaceful inside, I share peace. If I can love myself, not out of a material identity, but the spiritual identity of the inner being, then in that awareness, when I love myself as a child of the divine, then I can love you and everyone else with that same love also. So it's so important to get back to the spiritual identity, then things can be sorted out.
So beautiful. You attract what you are. Sister Jayanti, you are born in India and brought up your education. You did your education in London. So you are well acquainted with the Western world. We'd like to know what brought you to spirituality.
They say that if you have too much choice, then it's a matter of stress because you don't have enough wisdom to make your choice. And that was a little bit my situation when I was in my teens. There was Western society, there was the permissive society, there was a traditional Hindu society, there was the general state of the world in India. All of these things were open, but I didn't know which direction I needed to go in. I knew that I wanted to have a life of service, not just existing for myself, but being able to serve in some capacity. And then when I met a woman called Jayanti, and she came to Mauritius about 5 times, I think, she shared something that was very profound. She said that when the conscience is influenced by media, society, friends, education, the conscience has become suppressed, and so we can't understand clearly what it is we need to do. And I said, but how do you get rid of these influences? And she said, learn to meditate. And within a few days, I'd had very beautiful experiences in meditation. And then 6 weeks later, I decided this was to be my life. And that was in 1968. And I haven't changed my mind since.
Let us talk about that time when you decided that you will take this path. You just said that you had so many ways in front of you, so many paths in front of you. Was it difficult for you to choose one?
Before I started to meditate, it was very difficult because on the one side, Western society was attractive and fascinating, and on the other side, my loyalty to my parents and my Indian heritage, that was also important. And so I really didn't know which direction I needed to go in. And then having the clarity that meditation brought, I knew that my life could be fulfilled in the way that I truly wanted if I could actually change myself and transform my own inner world to come back to my own original truth. And I began a spiritual journey.
Now, how do you feel after choosing this path, after so many years?
I'm very grateful to my destiny that I was able to make the right choice, and I have no regrets about whatever it is that has happened. There have been challenges, there have been issues, but all of those were part of the journey for my own spiritual growth and development.
You've come here in Mauritius for a special purpose. You are attending so many conferences, and the theme are the state of the world and the state of our heart. Tell us more about that.
We'll be exploring this theme and asking ourselves the question, well, what is the call of the time for me at this moment? What is it I can do to contribute to make the world a better place? And then on Monday evening, we'll be having a public event to which everyone is invited, and it's totally free of cost. And it's at the Indira Gandhi Cultural Center, and that'll be at 5 p.m. on Monday. And in that, we'll be sharing the concepts that we've taken up in the retreat and also some of the solutions that have come up. And I personally believe that whatever is going on inside the human being is what's being expressed outside. And human souls have forgotten their identity. We're so caught up in the external, materialistic part of us, my gender, my age, my nationality, the color of my skin, all of these things. And each one of these factors have become very, very divisive in the world. And as a result of that, we see the state of the world as it is today. The other thing is the way that we've treated nature, our anger, our violence, and also exploitation, our greed, has actually destroyed the ecostructure. So many species have been eliminated, the harmony of the elements has been disturbed, and so we see climate change as a result. And I know that human nature wasn't always angry and greedy, etc., etc. We carry within ourselves the innate goodness, and if we spend a little bit of time in contemplation and reflection and silence, we begin to feel that within our own inner world. And so Brahma Kumari say that this is who you really are. And once you start expressing those qualities in your life, in your relationships with others, and towards nature itself, the world can definitely be a better place than it is today.
You're saying that this is what we really are. We are love, we are peace. So, living a normal life, how can one realize that he is peace, he is love?
Here's a question. Where do I feel comfortable? If I walk into an atmosphere where there's antagonism, enmity, my feeling is, well, I'd rather turn my back and go away. If I enter an atmosphere where I feel at peace, I feel comfortable, I relax. So what is that telling me? My natural state is that of peace. This is why I'm drawn to that. I feel comfortable with that. The same thing with love. If you're with people who you know are carrying a dagger and you know that they've got a problem with you, you don't want to stay there, you want to run. But if you know here's a place where people love you, and not just for your external things, your position or your possessions or anything like that, but they love you as their brother. In that awareness, you feel welcome, you feel comfortable. So what is it? The natural state of the human spirit is love. Even my own body, when I'm peaceless, what's happening to my body? When I have anger, the whole balance of the body system, the physiology, my blood pressure, my heart rate, the tension in my muscles, all of this increases. And when I'm relaxed and peaceful, the body comes back to its own comfortable, natural state. And so there are many, many indicators, whether my own physical body or my own feelings, that tell us that those higher qualities are the ones that are important.
We're living in a modern world where we have so many facilities to live a normal life, but still people are stressed out. So what are the shortcomings for living a healthy life?
It's so important to make time for the self. If I don't make time for the self to let my mind come back to a state of peace, to nourish my mind with spiritual thoughts that can give me the right compass and guidance for my life, and if I don't begin the day for myself in that way, I'm not of any use to others through the day. And I get stressed, but also I create an atmosphere in which others are also uncomfortable. And so the first thing to do is to know that it's not selfish to make time for yourself, but rather it's my responsibility. If I fulfill the responsibility to myself and make the inner being comfortable, strong, and nourished, then my ability to respond to others, my responsibility to others, is something I can fulfill. I can't otherwise. So first step, make time for yourself. Second step, find time to learn to meditate so that you can nourish the inner being. And then third step, use that moment of pause, not just for meditation in the morning and at night, but just maybe every hour, on the hour, taking just a moment to reflect. When you have a cup of tea or you have a glass of water, you're hydrating the body. Do the same for the soul, the inner being. Just 10 minutes to myself in the morning and let myself feel that normality is peace. Normality is not anger. Normality is not stress. And so if through my normal day I maintain that normality of my own inner state of being, then that's how I will respond to others, and I'll be able to generate an atmosphere of peace in which others also feel more comfortable. After a whole day at work, if I become stressed and I've become really on edge, I come back to my family. What do? I react. And it's not their fault. They've been waiting for me with love, and I come home full of stress and anger, and I lash out at them. What is that? That's not normality. And so we've grown accustomed to an abnormal situation.
And we call it normal.
And we call it normal. You know, it's like the frog syndrome. If you heat up the water gradually, and the frog adjusts to that until it explodes. That's what's happening to us. We've allowed ourselves to think this is normal, but in fact it's causing burnout, it's causing cardiac disease, it's causing all sorts of problems in the body. But my body is telling me that anger, stress is not normal. It's having an impact on my body, but we don't listen to our bodies.
Sister Jayanti, talking about peace and love. Nowadays, whenever we put on the news channel, we can see hatred, we can see wars among some countries. So, according to you, what are the ways where we can bring peace among these countries?
I think when we realize that our natural state of being is peace, and even a minority begin to have this awareness, then the power of the minority is going to switch the consciousness of the majority, and we're going to have a world of peace. I'll give you an example. If you have a tray of water and you want to freeze the water, a crystal here, a crystal here, a crystal here begins to form. And once it's reached a point of critical mass, the whole tray freezes. Then it's not just one at a time, but that critical mass shifts the energy and the whole tray freezes. Same thing. A powerful group of committed individuals are able to change the world. Margaret Mead said that many, many years ago. There's no change in the world with suddenly a majority of people thinking this is what we need, a minority, but a powerful minority committed, and they're able to reach critical mass, and we can change the world.
If you're talking about meditation, today we can see so many ways, techniques of meditations, but especially at the Brahma Kumari, people here practice the Raj Yoga. Tell us about that.
Yoga means union, and so it implies that there are two entities and you connect them. And the word Raja, the sovereign, the master, the king. And so in Raj Yoga meditation, which is the one we practice, in the awareness of the inner being, the soul, I allow my mind to come to that awareness of peace, and then I connect with the source of peace, of light and love. And through that connection, through the mind, even now as we speak, if your mind was thinking about your lunch break, you wouldn't be able to connect. But you're focused and your thoughts are here, so we're in tune. Same thing. In the awareness of the inner being, I'm in tune with the divine, with the source. And through that connection, I'm able to receive the love, the light, the power that the divine wants to give me, so that I have the possibility of change. Let's have a short experiment, and I'll demonstrate how this works, because otherwise people think, what do I do when I meditate? But what you do is keep both feet on the ground so that the body is comfortable, your back straight so that the body is alert, the mind is alert. I'll speak out my own thoughts as I meditate and invite the audience to follow these ideas. I go on a journey, going within. I watch my thoughts, and watching, observing, the speed of my thoughts slows down. And now I select the thought I want to have. The thought of peace. As I hold peace in my mind, I begin to feel peaceful. It feels natural. It feels comfortable. And I realize this is who I am. I am that inner being, a being of peace. And now I can feel the presence of the divine, the being of light, the source of light, of peace, of truth. And as I connect my thoughts with the source, from the divine, the source of love and light, the ocean of love and light, I feel the light of love surrounding me. And the light reaches out beyond one individual and touches my whole human family, the global family begins to experience peace. The light of the divine touches all forms of life. They begin to feel peaceful. The light reaches out to all forms, and they can feel the safety and protection. And the light reaches all the elements of nature. And nature returns to a state of harmony. The planet, surrounded by this light and love, turns to a place of beauty, of trust and love. Om Shanti. It takes just a few minutes to come back to my own inner consciousness and awareness. And as you see then, it's not just for me alone, but every time I meditate, it's of service to the world also.
Sister Jayanti, you are the additional administrative head of so many centers of Brahma Kumari. Taking care of so many centers, taking care means lots of responsibilities, but I can still see peace, love, a brightness on your face. So how do you maintain this peace?
If you recharge your telephone every night, then it's ready for action through the whole day. If you forget to recharge, then it wouldn't be of any use. The same thing, every morning there's a recharging of the battery through that connection, and that power, that light is able to stay with you through the day.
Sister Jayanti, thank you very much for this beautiful encounter. That was really nice, especially that meditation part, and I will surely practice it. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.